Okay, so if you want to know how did I land on TV for the first time, here's how it happened. Now, I am best known as a makeup artist, but I'm also a hairdresser, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I also do wardrobe. But the best thing about doing a face for me is lips. And one of the things that actually I really think got me on TV was how much I love seeing people with glossy, shiny lips. So every Saturday I would watch KPRC Channel 2 News in Houston. And on the weekend, there was this anchor, Miss Sophia Ahida, who I would notice had these beautiful cheekbones. She had these gorgeous green eyes, but I always noticed that she didn't do anything with her lips. And every time I would watch the broadcast, it would kind of bother me, which is kind of crazy, but it would bother me that she never had anything on her lips. And so I thought about it and it bothered me every weekend. But I was just like, you know what, Mindy, mind your business. And I never impose my opinion on someone on how I think they should look unless they open that door. Then I'll tell you, but I won't just say, hey, you should do this, you should do that. So anyway, I was watching and it really got to me one day. So I said, I'm just going to send an email. I'm going to be so nice in how I say it, but I'm just going to say, I've been watching. You're so amazing. And I just think you'd come across just so much better on camera with a little more lip color. It's like, I know you love these really soft, subtle colors. And hey, you know what? I'm a makeup artist for Bobbi Brown. I know how to pick out really soft, natural shades. We can kind of play around a little bit. And, I said, I'm really sorry. I am, really sorry about imposing my opinion. I normally don't do that, but doing a face, the lips are my favorite part, and it was just really starting to get to me that you didn't have anything on your lips. So I'm sorry, I'm not a weirdo. Please forgive me. So I send the email on the station website, and I'm thinking she'll never get it. Not only did I think she'd never get it, I figured it would just go to like an intern or maybe some type of feedback mailbox, and she'll never see it. So this was about 8:30 in the morning on that Saturday. And then 15 minutes later, if I remember correctly, Sophia responded back to me herself. Now, she was very nice, of course. She was just like, hey, you know what? Maybe you can come on the show and talk about ways that you can get out of a beauty rut. And that was how I landed on TV for the first time. So if anything, I might have been looking for a new client, not actually a spot on TV. But hey, you know what? I kind of feel like that's how it was supposed to work out. Okay, now that I've gotten booked for this TV spot, I knew I wanted to bring models and I knew I wanted them to be multicultural. So I wanted to represent different skin tones and I also wanted to represent different sizes since I'm in a plus size community. So I had to find models. Now, at this time, I had been living in Houston about 4 years. I had met some people, but I didn't have a network of models like I do here in DC. So I had put the word out to this other makeup artist. I believe her name was Gabby, and she had been in the city. So of course she was connected. And I said, I need models, looking for multicultural, looking for different sizes. And she was able to connect me with, I believe, two of the models, Luana and Hope. Now the last model, I can't quite remember who had connected me with Brittany, but when I reached out to the ladies, here's where it gets to the point where I said this was supposed to happen because only God could have put these people together to help me out. When I reached out to the models, I told them that you're going to need to meet me at the TV station at 3 a.m. on Saturday, February 13th. So not only am I asking them to give up a portion of their Valentine's Day weekend, I'm asking them to be at the TV station at 3 a.m. because if we have to be ready to go at 6:30 a.m., that's what the producer told me. So I kind of feel like it was a little bit of a test to be on TV just to kind of say, well, if you really want to do this, you got to be ready to shoot at 6:30 a.m. And I was more than in the boat to do it once I agreed to do it. But that meant for me to get the model's makeup done and a little bit of wardrobe because I was bringing clothing. And hey, here's the great thing about me and my childhood friends. One of my childhood friends, Gray, was in the city now, and she was willing to do the hair for the models. We were going to need about 3 hours to get everything together. So I knew we had to get there by 3 a.m. to be ready to shoot by 6:30. But as I said, I think God wanted it to happen because when I told the ladies that, none of them flinched. None of them said they weren't going to do it. So that means Friday night, you can't hang out because you got to be in the bed so you can get up for those few hours of sleep to show up at the station by 3 a.m. And so that's what's so crazy about these people being willing to help me come through, a total stranger, and say, I'm going to do this for this woman. I'm going to get up on a Saturday morning, Valentine's Day weekend. I'm going to give up my Friday night date. I'm going to be at that TV station by 3 a.m. so we can do this TV segment. And that is not lost on me. That is one of the things that I always think about from looking back on this, how they came through for me, because they didn't get any sleep, right? Had boyfriends and husbands drive them there. When we were there getting ready to go on, like by 6:30 a.m., the men who had brought them were like asleep in the lobby because obviously nobody got any sleep that night. I didn't get any sleep. I probably only got maybe 2 hours of sleep myself because I had to be up by 1 a.m. to get myself together enough to be ready to drive to the station by 3 a.m. So I literally got no sleep myself. But as I said, everybody came together to make it happen. And when we showed up at 6:30 a.m. on air, I feel like we were ready to go. So looking back on that time, thinking about how everything came together and, being thankful that I often do go back to childhood friends or people I've known for years to help me with these TV segments. I really do say that I rely so much on the kindness of strangers. I'm just grateful that God places it on people's heart to help me, because in a lot of cases, these people don't know me. I'm just reaching out to them, telling them what's going on and asking them if they'd love to be a part of it. And overwhelmingly, people have always said yes and come through. So I'm very grateful. Maybe I got this good energy or somehow God tells them, please help this girl. Please help her because she needs you to pull this thing off. And, thinking about my childhood friend Gray, who's a hairdresser and had been living in LA for a long time, and now she moved to Houston. So we were in the city together, and it just feels like, okay, I have my hairdresser friend here who's willing to get up in the middle of the night and come help me. I got these models who don't know me from a can of paint who are like, you know what, I'm gonna help you, girl. I'm gonna come out. And that turned into 5 appearances. So from someone who had never been on TV before, then I show up, we do the first one, and I remember talking to the producer as soon as we came off when we were talking about something for Mother's Day. And Lawana, one of the models, had said to me, it sounds like you got invited back. So here we go, someone who's never been in front of the camera. I go on one time, and it turns into 5 appearances that year. So that was my actual last year. I stayed in Houston 2016. In January 2017, I ended up moving back to Maryland where I am now. But I'm just really grateful when I look at the tremendous amount of growth from that first segment to where I am today. I just feel like, yeah, this is something I'm supposed to do. Even though I never thought of myself as an in front of the camera person, as a beauty professional, I looked at it like I'm helping someone else get ready for their big camera moment, helping them with their hair, their makeup, whatever it is, the wardrobe, not me in front of the camera. But I don't know. I guess it is a thing. And obviously I like doing it if I'm still doing it 10 years later. So let's see where it goes. I don't know if it's another 5 years, 10 years, or what God has in store for me, but I am grateful to every TV producer, every anchor, everybody who's ever helped me find my way into a TV station. And hopefully it continues to grow, but only God knows what's next for me. So hope you like hearing that recap of how that day came about. And I look forward to seeing you guys very soon in person. Ta-ta for now.